Hi and welcome back to Love English. I'm Leila, and in today's lesson we are going to be looking at expanding your vocabulary, building and broadening your vocabulary to express yourself in different ways. It is, however, so important that when you are learning synonyms and alternative phrases, that you understand the different contexts, situations that you can use them in, particularly when it comes to formal and informal English. So in today's lesson, we are going to look at avoiding saying two of the most common words that we would often use in English. I know and I understand. Now these words are essentially synonyms of each other. To know is to be aware through inquiry, observation, or information. Now, why am I suggesting that you stop using, that you don't say I know or I understand anymore? Well, first of all, as I said before, it's just simply about broadening your vocabulary, about learning new ways to express the same thing. However, these expressions and alternative words that I'm going to give you also have slightly different connotations, different meanings, subtle differences. And therefore, they'll be able to help you show empathy and understanding in a better and maybe more sincere way, to help you avoid sounding like a smart ass. To basically say, I know, I understand all the time can really make you sound like you're a bit of a know-it-all, that you think you know everything, but the truth is, rarely do we. So let's get started. 16 alternative phrases and words to use in replace of I know or I understand. So I'm going to start with some more informal, colloquial expressions that we can use rather than I know. And in fact, some of these, I would say, are even slang. So let's get started. Number one of the most common expressions that we would use to express our understanding and knowledge of something is I get it. I get it. And it is really that simple. Get means to understand. You could say, I get it, or you could even say, I get ya. I get ya. Now listen carefully to my pronunciation. It's rare that I would say, I get you, but rather I condense my words and you will hear the T becomes more of a D and the U becomes ya. I get ya. I get ya. So I get it, or I get ya. And you don't have to enunciate that T sound. I get you if you want to sound rather posh, but as it is more colloquial, I get ya, I get it. Number two, and I would say this is even more informal, gotcha, gotcha. So I got you, very similar to I get it, but definitely more colloquial, more informal and spoken English, perhaps in a text message, but certainly not in a formal situation. Gotcha. Gotcha. What time are we meeting tonight? 8:30? Gotcha. Number three, a fabulous expression and definitely one that is more informal. I catch a drift, I catch your drift, or I get your drift. I get your drift. She isn't the sharpest tool in the box, if you get my drift. The sharpest tool in the box is an idiomatic expression to say that somebody isn't very intelligent. She isn't the sharpest tool in the box. If you catch my drift, if you get my drift, means she's not that clever if you understand what I'm saying. Number four, a great way to really show that you are listening and that you are trying to understand someone, to show empathy even. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Now, often we would use this expression when actually we're about to disagree with someone. So you want them to understand that you understand, but it doesn't make much difference and you still disagree. I hear what you're saying, but I really can't agree with you. Number five, to get the picture. To get the picture. And again, this is saying that you understand the full situation. Someone is trying to explain something to you. trying to make sure that you're aware of the entire situation, and you can say, I get the picture. It's all right, don't say any more. I get the picture. I understand your explanation. Number 6, a great way to say that you understand why somebody has done something or thinks in a certain way. I don't blame you for feeling disappointed. You worked really hard. You deserve the promotion more than Bob. So I don't blame you, meaning I understand why you acted, reacted, or feel that way. I don't blame you. Use this expression when you are trying to show empathy and understanding for somebody's situation. Number 7, I managed to grasp. I managed to grasp. Or did you manage to grasp? Manage implies that doing something is difficult, that it requires effort, trying. And to grasp is to hold something with your full hand in a tight way. So you can grasp, I don't know, a child's hand when you're crossing the street to make sure they don't run off. So manage to grasp. This implies that there's some difficulty in actually understanding the situation. I managed to grasp what she was saying, but really her explanation was totally confusing. So I managed to grasp, to understand something, but with a certain amount of difficulty. Now moving on to more neutral and then more formal expressions. To notice, to notice. To become conscious, aware of something. I noticed he didn't look very happy at the party last night. So here you're saying that you became aware by observing. You noticed something. I noticed him at the party. I know he was there. So to become conscious of someone or something. I noticed the information in the report was a little bit inaccurate. Perhaps you could correct it for me. Number 9, I've actually been using this word quite a lot, and it's essentially a synonym of know. To choose to use aware, implies that the situation is perhaps a little bit more serious. We are starting to sound a bit more formal. I'm aware that she was late yesterday and I will be dealing with the situation. So I'm aware rather than I know. I'm aware. I have the knowledge of this thing, this situation. I'm aware it exists. Number 10, to realize. Realize. This, again, a little bit like aware, suggests a more serious nature to the situation. And often it's suggesting that you've become aware of something quite suddenly. Do you realize how important this meeting is? Do you realize how important this meeting is? I do realize how important this meeting is. Little grammar tip for you there. Using the auxiliary verb do or does, she does realize, stresses the importance and puts emphasis. So I do realize. You're really strengthening your response. You don't have to, but often we do use the auxiliary verb do in the affirmative to stress importance. I do realize how hard you've worked, but really you need to work harder. Number 11, to appreciate. Appreciate. To understand a situation and to realize its importance. So this is a great word to use when you are trying to be A, quite formal, or B, maybe more polite and empathetic. I appreciate how hard you have worked, but really I can't offer you a pay rise at the moment. So I understand, I realize the importance of this situation, your request, but I still can't give you more money. I appreciate how hard you have worked, but I really can't give you a pay rise at the moment. Number 12, to recognize. Recognize. To accept something is legal, important, or true. Often, again, a little bit like appreciate, we are referring to the importance of something. We are empathizing, we're showing our understanding, and that for somebody else raising an issue, perhaps this is an important thing. You must recognize the seriousness of the situation we're facing here. We may go into liquidation. Number 13, to acknowledge. Acknowledge. To recognize something, the existence of the truth. But particularly in the case of using I know and I understand, we would use acknowledge in a very formal situation, perhaps even in a written formal email or letter. You can use acknowledge with a gerund or a noun, such as, she acknowledged having been at fault. She acknowledged her mistakes. Or that and a phrase. She acknowledged that she had made many mistakes. So really quite serious there, and to accept something to be true. To recognize something. To acknowledge. 14, comprehend. Comprehend, a synonym very simply of understand, but much more formal. And it implies that you understand something completely. I fail to comprehend their attitude, meaning I can't understand at all their attitude, their behaviour. I don't think you comprehend just how serious the situation is. We may need to fire people. Number 15, I'm actually giving you 2 here for the price of 1 because they are very similar. I see your point and I take your point. I see your point and I take your point. Now, we often use these phrases when we want to show that we understand, that we have listened, and we accept what someone has said. However, we don't necessarily agree with what they have said. I see your point. However, I still feel we need to make cuts to the budget. I take your point. However, I still feel we need to make cuts to the budget. So 2 great expressions when you're ready to understand, but you still disagree. Number 16, and this probably is the most formal of all the expressions I have given you, as well as the fact that it's actually in the passive voice. You're saying that you understand or you know about something because somebody else has told you. It has been brought to my attention. It has been brought to my attention. It has been brought to my attention that you have failed to be on time every day this week. Meaning, I understand and I know because somebody else has told me. It's been brought to my attention that you haven't completed your assignment this week. Any reason why not? Now, this is also a great and more formal expression to use in written English, so maybe again in formal emails or letters. It has been brought to my attention. And remember, when speaking, you can still contract. It's been brought to my attention. And there we have it. Quite a few expressions, plenty of informal, plenty of formal to help you in whatever situation you may find yourself in. Remember, when you say I know or I understand, you want to sound a little bit more polite. Remember, using these expressions as an alternative to I know or I understand is going to help you sound less of a smart ass, that you know everything, and certainly help you show that you are understanding someone, trying to understand someone, empathize with them, but it doesn't always mean you have to agree. So there we have it. If you have any more expressions like these that you think I've missed out, then comment below, and certainly, as always, try using these expressions in sentences of your own. Comment below and practice. I will correct your English and grammar if you need it. In the meantime, keep watching. We've got plenty more lessons where that came from, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.